Hey, Elon. Ted Tagami with an educational company called Magnitude.io. I had the good fortune of meeting you back in September, watching your 5 sons launch their own rockets, Black Rock Desert.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And since then, we've actually had the great fortune of sending students' payloads up to the International Space Station. And we're now working with CASIS to extend that. We'd like 50 million students to get on the International Space Station, their experiments on the space station by 2014.
Okay.
So my question to you is more about the innovations in education and your thoughts. That same year that I met you and your sons, you announced Ad Astra.
Oh yeah.
And before the advent of neural lace gets fully implemented, what are your thoughts on the innovations in education today? Thank you.
Just thoughts on education. I think there's maybe there are definitely some good schools out there, but I think some of the mistakes, at least in my opinion, that I see being made in education is that the teachers do not explain why kids are being taught a subject. Just sort of get dumped into math and like, well, why are you learning math? What's the point of this? This seems like some, for some people, like maybe it's like, I don't know why I'm being asked to do these strange problems. But the why of things is extremely important, because our brain has evolved to not to discard information that it thinks has no relevance. So then, if on the one hand you're being asked to memorize or learn, say, formulas, but you do not know why this is the case, then you have this cognitive dissonance of, it seems irrelevant, but I'm being told to remember it, so I'll be punished. so I better remember it. But so the why of things is very important, and then being able to, and then picking kind of a problem, and then using various educational tools to solve that problem, like using math or physics or economics to solve that problem, is far more engaging than teaching the tools. It's the difference between if you say, well, we're going to take apart this engine and see how it works and put it back together again. And then in order to take the engine apart, we need wrenches and screwdrivers and a winch and Allen keys and whatnot. And then in the course of solving the problem of taking the engine apart and putting it back together, you learn about wrenches and screwdrivers and all the tools that you need. And then now you understand the relevance. This is why wrenches are important. Whereas if you had a class on wrenches, you'd be like, why does this not seem that great? So tying it to solving a problem is, I think, very powerful for establishing relevance and getting kids excited about what they're working on, and having the knowledge stick.
Yeah, and so to some extent, building a CubeSat or flying an experiment on ISS is like that, right? You've got the why or the relevance and the curiosity in terms of building that that device or that experiment.
I think the results.
So it really is cool. It ties to the. It gives you really a concrete example of what you're learning and why.
Yeah, exactly. I think like things like CubeSats, exactly. Because so like, okay, what is a solar panel? How does orbital dynamics work? How do we power this thing? How do batteries work? Electronics, control systems, and you need to. Then you're like, oh, we want to make our satellite work. That's why we need to understand all these disciplines. So I think it's like CubeSats, student CubeSats are great. Like things like design, build, fly for model airplanes or Formula SAE. We've got to design and build a kind of a race car and then race that against other people. I think those things are very powerful for learning tools.